Locational astrology is a branch of astrology that studies and establishes connections between the sky, in its astrological meaning, and the Earth, different locations on the Earth. It has two main areas of applications or goals, we could say. The first one is personal. It's about finding out how a person's astrological potential changes, getting activated or even transformed when moving from place to place. Which locations are beneficial for him or her and in which ways, and which places can become problematic and why. The second goal is about finding out how different events in the sky, such as eclipses for example, are reflected in the lives of nations and countries and nature. This includes weather phenomena and natural disasters such as earthquakes. In my courses, I will primarily focus on the personal uses of locational astrology, but I will also give you many examples of how it can work on the bigger scale as well. Why locational astrology is so important? In a few words, it can help you to change your life for the better. And if you're a consulting astrologer, you can help your clients to change their lives. We all have some talent, and if we manage to discover it and to fully develop it and to fully use it, we'll have a chance to become successful and fulfilled and happy. According to locational astrology, there are places on the Earth where we'll have much better chances to discover and to develop our talents. And there are other places where it will be more difficult for us to do that. Arnold Schwarzenegger became world famous after he moved to California, and the same can be said about Charlie Chaplin. One of my students wrote that her son wasn't very lucky in terms of jobs in the place he was born. The jobs he could get there were uninteresting, with low wages and no prospects. But then, when he was already 27 years old, the whole family moved to a different city. And there the son as if became a completely new person. He became very much interested in the English language. He studied it quickly and very thoroughly and started teaching the language. He is studying with great enthusiasm the history of the language, the history of England, the contemporary advanced methods of teaching languages. This year he began to write a fundamental guide to learning English using modern technologies, especially Google. His students begin to speak English in a month. He loves his job very much. This is a kind of change that can happen as a result of relocation. And the mother of this young man can see clearly why such a change happened, using the methods of locational astrology. We'll study this example in detail in one of the courses. Locational astrology can also help us to find our best partner, or to achieve harmony in the existing relationships. One simple example is that the line of Venus can show us from where in the world will our partner come. Like Yoko Ono was born on John Lennon's line of Venus, while John Lennon was born on Yoko Ono's line of Venus. And Meghan Markle found her prince on her line of Venus, by the way. Locational astrology can help you to choose the best employer. One of my students couldn't understand why her employer values and rewards her so highly until she created her chart for the location of the company's headquarters. She's never been there, but the glorious potential of that location worked for her through the company. We'll study this case in detail in the classical relocation course. These are only a few potential applications of the methods of the locational astrology. There are many others. For example, there is so-called resonance location, where people simply feel themselves happy and comfortable without any particular reason. On the other hand, some locations can be problematic for us, so it's better to avoid them. Another of my students complained that after retiring by the sea in a popular, very comfortable location, she became prone to illnesses. The problem was in Saturn, that was associated with illnesses in her natal chart and became very prominent in that location. Perhaps the greatest virtue of the locational astrology is that it helps us to use our free will, instead of just passively waiting for an inexorable fate. I will discuss this in more detail in the next lesson.